What's good, y'all? Shout out to all. Wait, different video. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Z Podcast. When I say P, I mean profit. When I say S, I mean sale. You dig what I'm saying, baby? Now let's keep it moving. Follow the feng shui. You dig it? BNB Noonian Podcast Z, man. Welcome to the Z Podcast. And today I want to talk about people, friends, family, best interests. A lot of people will say that they're for you, but they're not really for you. A lot of people will say that they care for you, they care about you, and they really don't. Their actions and words do not align. You know, it's a lot of people who will pretend to support you, and when something goes wrong, they cannot wait to be detestable against you. I don't like to use the word hate. I don't like to use that word because it means curse, So I try to prevent myself from using that word. But a lot of people will wait for a moment just to say that they really did not like you. They really was threatened by you. They really was aggressive with you. They just want to be aggressive with you and violent with you. Some people just want to argue with you. Some people just want to get on your nerves just to see how far they can get away with something. Some people know your weaknesses and will exploit them. Everybody's not in your best interest. You do not need to be sharing everything with everybody. You do not need to be talking to everybody. And you don't should need to be talking to family and friends too like that. Especially not everybody in your family. Because if you didn't have an angelic family and you come from a demonic family, like your family was more negative on the negative side than they was on the positive side, then you might want to stop dealing with certain people in your family because you're dealing with some demons. Some of us, we have to accept where we come from, but we also have to know that we don't have to stay there. Just because we started there doesn't mean we end there. Just because we started there doesn't mean it's our reality for the rest of our life. I've went through many people and friends and family where I realized like everybody ain't who they say they is. Like they say one thing, but then their actions show another. A lot of people don't abide by principles and a lot of people don't care about character development. A lot of people might speak on God and Jesus or Baphomet religion, Buddha, Muslim. They might try to speak on religions. They might try to speak of their religion, Yoruba, whatever, right? They might try to speak of their God or who they believe in, right? But then they don't listen or follow the rules and the path that come with it. A lot of us or a lot of people be just talking. They just be talking and they're looking for attention. They're attention seeking. Dealing with people, especially even with relationships, you might be with a person who subconsciously is attention seeking. So they might try to subconsciously put you in competition with other people and have you giving up your attention just to keep them validated because your attention is validating them. Everybody's not in your best interest, and people will try to use you to validate their own fears and anxieties. People will try to use you to validate their own traumas and then turn around and say that you're the problem. I swear to God, like people will try to use their pain as a way to blame you for what they're feeling. And if you're ever around anybody like that, run. Please anybody listening, take my advice, because I've dealt with energy vampires. I've dealt with people who literally tried to drain me of my life force because I didn't want to run in the name of love. I love them, and I fought with them. Like I got respect for them, but that's my mama though. But that's my brother though. But that's my cousin. You know what I mean? Like, but that's my homeboy. Whatever your case is, who's draining you and who's not draining you. When you talk to that person, like you like, oh man, here we go again with this shit. And you constantly is on a cycle with this person. And if you are the person who's more mature emotionally, then you're going to do what you need to do for yourself to protect yourself emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You're not going to tolerate or be around anything that is going to try to keep you down, because believe me, take my words, I've tried to do that, and it put me in my life on hold for trying to bring someone else up with me on my level, and it didn't work. I try to bring it's not, especially if somebody will be in your best interest if they want to grow, they want to change, they want to be a better person. But if you're dealing with somebody who does not take the information, what you're saying, or they're not even taking information for themselves, and they're not doing anything for themselves, and they're not putting in the work for themselves, and they're not meditating, they're not praying, they're not, whatever the case is that they do to grow, they're not doing nothing. They're talking about knowledge, but they're not applying it. You need to run. I'm gonna keep this short for y'all, but run as fast as you can, please, because you don't want to end up like me. I'm not in a bad situation, but you don't want to end up like me with experience of dealing with vampires, and all they fucking cared about was literally taking. What do you expect to deal with a person who is not on your level? All they're going to try to do is take. It's not about on your level. It's just about energy. And if a person is not like-minded or reciprocating you, they're going to try to take from you. They're going to try to be like, you know what? I need energy, and I'm going to try to get it any way means. These parasites and entities that live in people will try to get energy by any necessary how. Any way how. They will do it by any means necessary. They will try to, you know what I mean? They will do it any means. They will figure out a way to try to take energy from a person or drain energy from a person. Some people will love to see you suffer. Some people will love to see you in pain. They want to see you in pain because it gives them great joy. I know, because I've seen people watch me. I've seen people watch me endure things that no other person would be able to do. And they sit back and try to point and laugh or try to benefit from my suffering, but they would never try to be in my shoes or walk a mile. Never. But they got so much to say. Run as fast as you can. And with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy this podcast.